The ballroom of the Harrington estate glimmered under chandeliers, filled with polished marble and laughter that dripped with arrogance. It was Saturday night, Eleanor Harrington's weekly dinner, where Boston's wealthiest came not to eat, but to compete. Not in business. Not in politics. But at her prized chessboard. Imported from Russia, carved from ivory and onyx, the board sat in the center of the room like a throne. Every week, Eleanor humiliated another guest with her sharp strategies. They called her the Queen of Kings, undefeated for 6 years. That night, her guests circled as Eleanor leaned back in her silk gown, her diamond necklace glittering. She'd just defeated her third opponent, a venture capitalist twice her age. "Really, is no one here capable of giving me a challenge?" she mocked, sipping her wine. The room chuckled, some out of loyalty, others out of fear. That's when her eyes landed on the far corner. A boy. No older than 12. Sitting quietly, waiting for his mother to finish cleaning empty glasses from the side tables. His clothes were plain. His sneakers scuffed. His skin, the color Eleanor had spent her life pretending didn't belong in ballrooms like hers. He was the maid's son. Eleanor smirked. "You. Boy." The room hushed. The maid froze, horrified. "Mrs. Harrington, please, he's just—" "No, no," Eleanor cut her off sharply. "Let him come. Since none of these men can challenge me, perhaps I'll find a rival in the help." A few guests laughed, their pearls and cufflinks rattling with amusement. The boy rose slowly, his gaze steady. He walked to the board and sat opposite Eleanor without a word. She arched a brow. "Do you even know the rules, child?" He looked at her, voice calm but sharp. "Yes." "Do you?" The room gasped. A servant's child daring to speak back. Eleanor's smile tightened. "Very well. Let's begin." The game started casually. Eleanor moved her pawn with practiced grace, confident she'd destroy him in minutes. But then, his reply came swift, precise. Another move. Another counter. Within 5 turns, the boy had established a defense Eleanor hadn't seen since her days competing in Europe. Murmurs rippled through the room. She leaned forward, narrowing her eyes. The boy didn't fidget. Didn't flinch. He studied the board with an intensity that silenced even the laughter. "You've played before," Eleanor said, her tone sharper now. The boy nodded slightly. "Every day." "Against who?" "Your school friends," she mocked. He looked up, his dark eyes steady. "My mother works 3 jobs. I study alone. Books don't laugh at me." A hush fell over the guests. Move after move, the boy dismantled her strategies. Every trap she set, he unraveled. Every aggressive push, he anticipated. His hands moved with quiet confidence, as if he'd been preparing for this moment his entire life. By the 12th move, Eleanor's diamond smile had faded into a clenched jaw. Sweat beaded her temple. By the 20th, the guests were whispering. "Is he winning? Impossible, he's a child." And then, check. The room erupted. Eleanor's king was trapped, her empire of ivory crushed under the strategy of a boy who wasn't even old enough to drive. The boy leaned back, his voice soft but lethal. "Checkmate." Gasps filled the air. A few even clapped before silencing themselves, afraid of Eleanor's wrath. Her face burned crimson. She slammed her glass down so hard the stem snapped. "This is absurd. He must have cheated." "No," a new voice cut through the chaos. It was Dr. Patel, a quiet guest Eleanor had invited only for status. He stepped forward, eyes shining. "I've seen this boy at the public library. Do you know what he does there? He doesn't play games. He studies grandmasters. He copies plays from Kasparov, Carlsen, Fischer. He has a gift." The room fell silent. The maid, tears streaming, whispered, "He's been teaching himself for years. Said one day he'd sit across from the best. I told him dreams like that weren't for people like us." The boy looked at his mother, his small hand covering hers. "They are, Mama. They have to be." Eleanor, trembling with humiliation, tried to stand, but the guests no longer looked at her. Their eyes were on the boy. On the genius who had walked in unseen and walked out a king. One man cleared his throat. A venture capitalist. What's your name, son? The boy lifted his chin. Isaiah. The men nodded. Isaiah, would you like a sponsor? A scholarship? Training? You don't belong behind a mop. You belong on the world stage. The maid gasped, covering her mouth. Isaiah simply nodded, calm, composed. Eleanor rose, furious. But the world had already shifted. Her power, built on arrogance, shattered in the span of one game. And the boy she had mocked, the black maid's son, had humbled her in front of everyone. From that night forward, whenever Boston's elite gathered in the Harrington estate, the name on their lips wasn't Eleanor's. It was Isaiah's. The boy genius who proved that brilliance isn't born in ballrooms. Sometimes, it grows in silence, waiting for its chance to be seen.